Considered the biggest blunder of the COVID crisis, Victoria's decision not to use our Defence Force for hotel quarantine. Tonight, 9 News can expose the paper trail in the echelons of power, confirming the state asked for help, then cancelled the request in the space of 24 hours.
Arguments over an offer of Defence Force personnel to police Victoria's hotel quarantine have raged for months.
The ADF will be there to support those enforcement authorities.
I think it is fundamentally incorrect to assert that there was hundreds of ADF staff on offer and somehow someone said no.
Now a Senate committee has published part of a paper trail that shows soldiers were on offer and Victoria did say no. On June 24, the Victorian Emergency Management Commissioner, Andrew Crisp, lodged a high-priority request with the Commonwealth asking for 850 personnel to assist from June 26 at the designated hotels being used for mandatory quarantine, noting Victoria had exhausted its capacity to do the job and adding, Australian Defence Force personnel in other states have proven to be uniquely suited to the roles. That also jars with what the Premier told a Victorian parliamentary inquiry.
I'm glad you mentioned the use of ADF. I don't believe ADF support was on offer. And ADF support has been provided in very limited circumstances in New South Wales, not to provide security as such, but to provide transportation.
We know that's not true of New South Wales. Now we also know that it was not true of the request made on behalf of the Victorian Government.
The very next day, Commissioner Crisp writes to advise the Commonwealth that Victoria no longer wishes to progress the request for up to 850 resources to support our hotel quarantine operation.
No one has ever explained why that request was withdrawn or who made the decision to withdraw that request. Clearly, someone has overruled Andrew Crisp.
While that letter was being written, and while that request was being considered, the government was, and many of its agencies were considering alternative arrangements, and it effectively got superseded by events.
9 News understands there is another document, a letter sent from the Prime Minister to the Premier on July 4, reiterating the offer of Defence Force assistance. Chris Ullman, 9 News.